Resident Evil 4, March 24th. The remake that Resident Evil fans have been waiting years for, Resident Evil 4's upcoming rebirth has some big shoes to fill. The original game is often regarded as one of the best survival horror games ever. For this rebirth of the 2005 game, Capcom has added modernized gameplay, a reimagined storyline, and gruesome graphics to bring the cult classic into the new era. Like previous remakes of Resident Evil 4's new lease on life looks set to capture the spirit of the original game while injecting some fresh surprises into the mix.
You will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
Rockay City is the Crime Boss, March 28th. The new action-packed title from publisher 505 Games and developer In-Game Studios may be one of the more unique games to look forward to this month. The game resembles a love letter to 1990s action movies as you rampage through an untamed version of Florida from a bygone era, with a cast of whose available C-rank actors voicing multiple loose cannon cops and criminals. Rockay City, a thriving metropolis with excitement buzzing from the sandy bay to the Rockay City, a thriving metropolis with excitement buzzing from the sandy bay to the towering skyscrapers. But beyond the glamour, there is a fierce turf war raging on. After the demise of the previous crime boss, there's an open vacancy for a new king of Rockay City, but it isn't just you who is fighting for the throne. Choose your crew based on their skills and expertise, and execute daring missions with the hopes of walking away with the cash, the turf and, ultimately, the crown.
Always worth hiring the right team. So in this case, it's worth inviting others in co-op play. The big heists are similar, but can only be unlocked once you have proven yourself in Baker's Battle, or by completing it in someone's hosted session. And, speaking of the main game, we move on to Baker's Battle, the bulk of the game, which will require all your skill and cunning to master. Baker's Battle is the ultimate single-player experience of Crime Boss, where you are always competing against and trying to stay one step ahead of Sheriff Norris, who runs Rockay's law enforcement. He will always be collecting evidence against you, so you will be competing against the gang of Dollar Dragon, played by Danny Trejo, the gang of Yellow, played by Vanilla Ice, an Asian warlord, and an Italian mafioso. A full suite of factions determined to stop your ascent to the throne. Remember though, Baker is not alone. He is joined by his friend and Captain Touchdown, played by Michael Rooker, who commands an army of thugs to do your bidding. And of course, you will need someone to manage your finances, as conducting a turf war is not cheap. Can basically replace Casey, who is well connected and will advise you on where to spend your resources.
The Last of Us Part 1, March 28th. Balancing on a fine line between remake and remaster. The Last of Us Part 1 brings the PS3 classic up to the visual quality of its sequel on PS5 and PS4. While some of the gameplay might feel a tad dated, the new coat of digital paint does a stellar job of modernizing the game. While several great quality of life improvements and a suite of accessibility options make this version of The Last of Us the definitive one.
Now, you do what I say, when I say it.
Joel, I can handle myself.
It's called luck, and it is gonna run out.
Too many of them!
You ready to haul ass? Come on. Do you even realize what your life means?
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of?